Hello everyone and welcome back to some more thoughts on the track. Now I know it's been 2 weeks, but travel and Christmas parties and all that good stuff were things I've done over those past 2 weeks, and now I wanted to get in one last thoughts on the track for Wave 6 before the new year. And for today that's Tour Madrid Drive. And because this track is in Madrid, Spain, I gotta give a shout out to my Spanish viewer Frances Ruiz. He offered to help me with some of the locations in this video, though I'm gonna try and do some Mario Wiki research on that. But he could probably do a better review of this track than me, given that he is a native of Spain. But anyway, Madrid Drive. It's a tour track, but how does it hold up when compared to the other tour tracks? Well, I'd say pretty good actually. And I'm not just saying that because of Frances Ruiz, I genuinely believe that. Madrid Drive has some unique elements to its track design that I like, so let's talk about that, shall we? First of all, there's some elements when driving around the track that I truly like. You have some of my favorite characters lining up along the track. Goombas, Thwomps, and Wigglers. I like them more as a track element than a character. They were cool in Maple Treeway though, and they're cool here. I like how the Wiggler is asleep for lap 1 and awake for lap 2 because, as is usually the case with these tour tracks, you get the 3 different laps. Now despite these cool elements, the track does suffer from a lot of the tour sameness that I've talked about a million times, driving around a city with glaring red arrows pointing you in different directions. None of the turns are particularly annoying, but there's also little about the routes that are truly enjoyable either. However, another interesting element of design is the gliding ramp at the end of lap 2. What truly makes this gliding section special though, we'll talk more about in the track artwork. So yeah, let's talk about the track artwork now, and what's my favorite part of this track? The one that I didn't bring up in the track design section? Well, that would be Santiago Bernabeu Stadium, the epic soccer venue you encounter on the last lap. And I count this more as an artistic flourish than a track design element, because feeling inside the stadium with the nets, the cheering crowd, and the soccer field is just very enjoyable. Of course, there are speed boosts and shoe Goombas kicking around balls, which are more elements of track design, and believe me, I appreciate those. But it's a little bit more on the art side I'm judging here, which is why I talk about the stadium in this section, and as a sports fan, it's truly my favorite element of the track. But then I also want to return to the gliding section, where you glide towards a pretty water geyser. Apparently this takes place in Retiro Park. Other great elements of this track come from lap 1. These include the Gran Via, which has some beautiful architecture, and there's also the Prado Museum, where biting piranha plants are apparently the artwork. Overall, the artwork has left me feeling like only a few tour tracks have throughout this booster course pass, which is that I would really like to visit the city. Finally, let's talk about the music, and for this, I gotta at least give Nintendo some props for fitting the theme well. Evidently, this song was done in a Spanish flamenco style. It feels a bit dramatic and edgy. You can hear guitars, strings, and also some maracas in the background. It's not the most distinctive song in the world. I feel like I've heard similar songs to this in the tour canon before. It's not the most memorable to me, and certainly not as good as, say, Piranha Plant Cove from the last video. However, it's not bad either, and it serves its purpose as a good thematic song that provides a bit of intensity to your race. I'd say the percussive element of the maracas is probably my favorite aspect of this tune, but overall it's good and not great music-wise. So what is my verdict on Tour Madrid Drive? Well, you're probably able to tell I like it a bit more than most tour tracks, and that starts with the design. You have some of my favorite characters out there like Thwomps and Wigglers, not to mention a speed boost filled area with shoe Goombas. Yes, some of the race feels just like another tour track, many elements of it do not however. That's why the track design gets a 7 out of 10. But it's even better for the artwork. Those aforementioned shoe Goombas are in that awesome soccer stadium, which is preceded by a scenic glide through water geysers and a trip through a museum. It's great, and the artwork gets an 8 out of 10 for me. The thing is, the artwork only goes up from here throughout this particular spiny cup, which says a lot about the upcoming tracks we'll review. Finally, there's the music, a solid tune to be sure, one that is befitting of the city of Madrid, but not the most memorable tune in the Mario Kart verse, I would say. That aspect gets a 6 out of 10, so we average it all together, and yep, this track gets a 7 out of 10. Now I was curious about how this compared to my previous ratings of tour tracks, so here we go. Well, based on this, in terms of the tour tracks I've given full reviews of, Only Berlin Byways and Singapore Speedway are better. Some of the others got 7 out of 10, yes, but honestly, this is the most memorably good compared to those other 7s, so yes, it's safe to say that Madrid Drive is an above average tour recreation. But what are your thoughts on Tour Madrid Drive? Am I too generous, too harsh? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if I don't make anything new before 2024, have a happy new year.